I had a soap batch go sideways, and I mean sideways. I've been making soap now for about 3 years now. We just make it for our own household use so far. So, I'm making it every couple of months. I've never had a batch do this. I literally poured the lye water solution into, which in this case was milk and aloe juice. That's going to come up in this process. I poured that into the oils, and literally it looked like it was tracing at the bottom, and I thought, holy cow, am I just imagining that, and pulled it up, and no, it was tracing at the bottom. So then I'm trying to hand mix it, and I hadn't even put the additives like the sodium lactate and other things that for this bar were going to be really important to the ingredients list. So I'm trying to get that in there, and those to incorporate are going to take a little bit of blending, at least the way I did this process. But it often helps to hear what went wrong and what you do about it. It is currently in my oven at 120 degrees with lids on. And the hope is that I mean, you can see I couldn't even batch that up properly. It would not pour in. It was becoming soap as I stirred it in the container. But the hope is that it'll gel phase. If it does, and that process turned out okay, in roughly 48 hours, I'll cut the bars, and then I'll use pH strips to test the pH. And if I'm around 10 and there are not pockets of oil, it's probably going to turn out okay. If that's not the case, I will have to glove up and grate it, and then add water and rebatch, essentially, which will be a hot process rebatching. This literally, I was concerned it was going to start volcanoing. This had additional stearic acid in it, and I think maybe that's perhaps a part of what happened here. But at any rate, sometimes we learn from the mistakes too. This is still a work in process. I don't know exactly how this one's going to turn out, but I have been curious about the goat's milk making soaps, etc., and wish that there were more videos out there. So I'm sharing my oops as well, and will update with how this turns out. If I'm lucky, it'll pH test at 10 without little pockets of oil in a couple of days, and then it might need an extended cure time, but I genuinely don't know. I have a strong suspicion I'll be rebatching this because it was tracing so fast I couldn't even get the additives in there, and so I was sort of hand stirring. 90% of this was hand stir, and I still don't know whether or not the additives really are truly incorporated. So I'll know more once I cut it, but learn as much from your mistakes.